Hi, WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of American in Germany, and today I have the Japanese whiskey Akashi Meisei. Now, you may have heard about the Akashi blended, which is really just white oak. You may have heard of the single blend, but have you ever heard of the Meisei? Well, probably not, because it's WhiskyJason, whiskey from the viewpoint of American in Germany, testing rare and exotic whiskeys. This was exclusively, or originally distributed only on the French market. Somehow there were not enough people in France that wanted to buy it, and so they actually let it into the German market. And that's where I tasted it at a whiskey fair in Hamburg in February of 2017. This is a 45% single malt and a 55% grain blend. The normal White Oak Distillery Akashi Japanese blended whiskey is 30% single malt and 70% grain. So this is actually an improvement. Over here in Germany, you can get it for like 35 euros. So a fairly good price. Whiskey base 79905, 40%, and Meisei bedeutet celebrity. Interesting. So Japanese whiskeys, all just hype, or are they really something very nice? I'm going to coat the glass a little bit here and take a nice little sniff. I get the single grain. I get the grain whiskey, a little bit of alcohol, a little bit of a flowery, floristic. That's pretty good, Jason. Wow. Floral. A little bit of wood as well. The interesting thing about the old or the other, the blended, is they had 3 years in just a bourbon hogshead and then put it for another 2 years in a new virgin white oak cask, made in Japan, by the way. And this they didn't. It's a no age statement, so I don't know exactly how long it was where, but it really doesn't have a finish. It really doesn't have an extra oakiness or tannin taste to it. It just is very mild and very delicate. Delicate. The grain is dominant. The single malt tries to complement it. It's there a little bit, but it really doesn't have enough of its own flavor profile to win over the grain. Now, I love grain. I've had some very nice grains before, like a 27-year-old North British grain, excellent stuff. I actually have someplace down there, even a 50-year-old Cooper's Choice grain. It's heavenly. Over here, I actually have the Cheetah, which is a Japanese grain from Suntory whiskeys. It's a no age product, but it's very nice. This is not from Suntory. It's from the White Oak Distillery. It's the Igashima Distillery, very close to Kobe, where that beef comes from that you may have known. And they actually had a license to distill whiskey in the year 1919. But they didn't. They waited until the year 1984 to distill the first whiskey. They built a separate facility for that. They've actually been distilling since 1888, sake, as well as the shuku. I'm not great with Japanese. I'm sorry. I know sake, but I don't know shuku that well. And so they put the first single malt on the market in 2007. It was actually, I think, an 8-year-old, and then a couple years later, there was a 12-year-old, and it just sold out. And this is the main problem we have with Japanese whiskeys, is that they originally were made for the Japanese market. Remember Blanton's? That was the first single barrel ever made, not for the US market, but for the Japanese market. And so these Japanese decided, hey, we can make rice spirits. Why can't we make grain spirits? And so they started making whiskey, and there was enough whiskey, or not enough whiskey, even to, for the demand of the Japanese market. And now they have enough capacity that they can actually supply the Japanese market. And there's enough actually to kind of come over to Europe every once in a while, kind of come over to the States and so on. All right, so one last little thing. I think I've mentioned this before, but one little trivia. Which country in Europe drinks the most alcohol, the most whiskey per capita? It's France. And that's why this was actually for the French market. They love the Japanese whiskey. It's delicate. It's almost boring. It's a C. It's a value for money C. It's a C for the taste. It's just average. Now, this might be an interesting start in the Japanese world. There's much better. For example, 10 euros more, you get something called, from Hibiki, the Harmony, Japanese Harmony. Not only is the bottle an awesome looking piece of Japanese workmanship, look at that cork. I mean, it's just awesome. And all the facets here of the bottle with the meaning, handmade paper design, really, really nice stuff here. Remember Lost in Translation? Remember Hibiki from Centauri with Bill Murray? Now, Akashi Meisei is, as I said, an average product, an average Japanese whiskey with no smoke, with no real specialties or character traits. Just an average, soft, delicate, floral type of mixed blend of grain and some single malt. All right, WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of American and Germany. Thanks for watching. Please like. Please also subscribe. As you notice, I've tasted a lot of different whiskeys so far, and I'm moving more into the world whiskeys of Japanese. I'm going to do some Indian, some stuff from Australia, New Zealand, and so on. But the main thing that I do is rare and exotic whiskeys. If I can't find a video in English, I'm going to try to do it myself. And that's what I did. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You'll see me online. Bye-bye.